To another episode of The Last 7, a not so philosophical wax regarding the last 7 days. I'm your host Dan Rowley. Once again with me, Antonio Romola.
Hiya.
And Kenneth Trainer.
Yeah.
Justin's going to be back next week. We're going to record on Tuesday if that's okay with you both.
Yeah, okay.
Superb.
Yeah,
so
of course it is.
Probably do the milk challenge then.
Oh god.
Probably shave my back then.
Oh, I forgot they were going to do that still. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's okay, you've been through a lot. But then he won't be here again for another 2 weeks because he's going to Morocco.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe this. How's that come about?
I'm not sure. I think he might be going on holiday with Kate. He didn't respond when I asked afterwards. But I think, yeah, we're predictive on this podcast now because we were only whinging about the other day how Justin now sounds like fucking Michael Palin.
Yeah.
Having gone nowhere for years and years and years, and now he's all like, yeah, just here in China, just rocking out with my dad.
Yeah, come back, pop across to Morocco.
Yeah, why not? I'm gonna be UK based for a couple of days, and then it's straight off to Morocco. Africa though, nice. You been to Africa, Tom?
No, never been to Africa. Nearest probably Israel, even though it's probably nowhere. It's probably not really that close. I don't mean geographically. I mean just like, yeah.
Don't go on safari in Israel, basically.
Yeah.
Been to Africa, Ken?
No.
Oh. I've been to Africa.
Have you?
Good for you. Where did you go?
I went to Kenya with my ex-girlfriend.
A
bit of pill, yeah. I must have told you I went to fucking Kenya.
I can't remember, mate.
God.
In uni, was it?
With my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, shit, no, mate. I didn't know. I can't remember.
Well, you don't remember, because I definitely would have told you.
It wasn't that long ago, though, was it?
4 years? Oh, God, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, it was great. It was a bit...
tell us some more things about yourself. See what else he doesn't know or wants to ask you about.
I'm Dan. We've known each other for pushing 10 years. That's a nasty thought, isn't it? Well, not a nasty thought. That was the wrong thing to say entirely. No, I mean, it's a sobering thought. When did we start university? 2005.
2005, yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's a long, long way. What's the worst thing that's happened to you this weekend? If it's my worst thing as well,
it probably is because we both fucked up big time this week.
Oh God.
Yeah. We let down a friend of ours.
Yeah, we were all supposed to be going.
Not just this week. It actually we've let it down over quite a number of weeks.
Yeah.
But it came. Yeah.
Yeah, it came to a head last Friday when we were having a good time.
Exactly.
We were supposed to go see Craig Charles in Cardiff. Reminders were sent ages ago. None of us got tickets. So, we let down one of our bestest friends. It's actually a really, really somber worst thing of the week because I feel absolutely fucking terrible. To the point where now I've got in touch with Craig Charles' agent.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, good show.
And then I'll be on to the Globe as well. I got a feeling it's going to be more likely from Craig Charles, this 0.001% chance that he'll reply. But I'm going to badger him he's already had 4 emails to his agent, and they're going to have 4 more every single day until I get, even if it's an angry response, a response. But yeah, the Globe are going to be subject to their fucking venue constraints, aren't they? Yeah. But it's going to be worth ringing up and saying, look, this is the situation, and I might say I've got fucking cancer or something.
Oh God! See, so Georgina, if you're listening, Dan is.
We're so fucking sorry, but I'm going to do everything to try and remedy it. So
yeah, there's a lot of guilt here right now. But
what's the best thing that's happened to you this week, Tone?
The best thing that's happened to me is actually having bought a ticket and not letting my friend down.
Yeah. well done.
Yeah,
So yeah, there is a bit of guilt in this room right now, but not from me.
No, well done you. You're pretty fucking bulletproof in this whole situation. So what's the worst thing that's happened to you this week? Come on.
The worst thing that's happened to me this week is probably at the moment we're trying to find some cast members for our Halloween show.
Oh yeah, you talked about this last week.
Yeah, and really struggling. People that I've asked have said no, and some haven't got back to me.
Give a shout out now. We'll have some people down from London. We'll have some people over from America.
Well, that's the tricky thing. See, we're trying to keep it quite local so that, you know.
Right, well, we'll localise then. Anybody in the Newport, Cardiff, South Wales area, we'll keep it that sort of local. Come and be in an immersive theatre experience, you know, produced by Tin Shed fucking Theatre Company. You've read the reviews if you listen to this podcast. You know that we've talked about them loads. Yeah. Friends, but fucking awesome what they do. Get amongst it.
Friends.
Straight to you. You can email us, thelast7podcast@gmail.com, or follow us on Twitter @thelast7. Register your interest.
Yeah.
Work with a genius. 3 geniuses.
Yeah.
I'm Justin.
I will tell you it's about exorcism, so if you have any sensitivities to, you know, that kind of a theme, then, obviously be warned that is what it's about.
You got any sensitivities, Tom?
Well, I was alright until I was slightly put off by something that someone said to me when I told them about the idea. A friend of ours is an ex-priest, and when I bumped into him in the street and he asked me, what are you guys plan on doing for this Halloween? I explained to him what I was doing, and when I said, we want it to all be about exorcism, we want to perform an exorcism in front of an audience, he turned around to me, this ex-priest, and said, you know, there are certain things in this world, in this universe, that really shouldn't be meddled with. And just gave me a look of, be warned, you know.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't go down that road. So that kind of, I don't know, I don't even believe in that stuff, but it has worried me a little bit. Like, you know.
What? Because an ex-priest is like, look, you know, I've spoken to God personally, and there is something... What? No.
I know, it's silly. It's silly to worry
about.
But
when you say to you, we're gonna perform an exorcism, somebody might be inclined to try and correct you and said, oh no, you're going to pretend to perform an exorcism. But that is exactly what people who perform exorcisms do.
It sounds great.
I'll tell you something else that was a bit shit. Although maybe not quite, because it might just be that I didn't listen properly. But you cut out the Lembit news last week, didn't you?
I did cut out the Lembit news.
And it was
we finished the recording. It was 2 hours and 40 minutes long. It was a late publishing.
It was the biggest bit of Lembit news as well.
Go for the Lembit news. Go quickly now.
Right.
Lembit Opig news.
Twitter user UK politician rating said there's something fascinating about Lembit Opik. Is he running in 2015? To which Lembit Opik replied, I might well be. Red car is attractive. Let's see what comes up in the next weeks.
If I know Lembit Opik, and I think I do by now, he might have just gone, well, yeah, Red Car's a beautiful place. He might be jogging through Red Car.
No, he's on a motorbike, mate.
All right. Well, he might jog. He looks like he jogs. He jogs. He keeps fit.
Would you bother jogging if you had a bike?
I told you about that picture last time, mate. He wasn't really riding that boat.
Mate, he fucking contributes to a motorcycle enthusiast magazine.
Well, it's MAG. It's called. He's the director of communications and public affairs for the Motorcycle Action Group, which you would know, Tone, if you'd listened to the episode where we did the Lembit Opik quiz.
But show me a video of him riding.
He's weighing in on here on the 8th of September. He weighed in on the Scottish independence debate by saying 500,000 Scottish residents are fully qualified motorcyclists. Motorcycle Action Group asked yes and no teams to share policies regarding motorcycles. And also something about, he asked them, will they revisit ludicrous licence test laws and support bikes in bus lanes?
So he wants bikes to be allowed in bus lanes?
That's how into motorbikes he is.
Like taxi. I know, he's really getting to sort of, one might say like the nitty gritty of the Scottish independence vote. You heard the Scottish independence vote, yeah?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. They were in Edinburgh today on the fucking BBC News.
Yeah.
Live coverage.
Yeah.
Of what? Fuck all.
I don't know what you expect, Dan. Yeah, I mean, you know, you watch it off telly. You know that there's fucking hours of stuff about something that's about to happen.
When that royal baby was born, man.
Exactly.
Some of the best rolling news you've ever seen in your entire life. By best, obviously, I mean most fucking tedious.
When they showed Alexander McQueen's coffin in a car, remember, from a helicopter and
stuff.
Oh
my, no, that's garish, man. That was fucking, that's ghoulish. But no, just reporters standing outside. and they can be forgiven when nothing is happening in like a war zone behind them because they're in a safe space to go, this is where the fighting's happened. But they were just outside a fucking hospital for days. Days and days. No word from inside the hospital. I'm sure we'll know when the baby's born. And then we can all just go back to the way things were. Preggers again, of course, Kate Middleton.
Yep.
Oh,
She is.
Oh, wow.
Keep it up with the Royals, Tone?
No, mate, because I remember I said on the last episode, I think it's pointless. British royal family. I never used to enjoy it in history, and I don't see the point in it. So, yeah, I hope they're not teaching about the current royal family in 50 years time.
That's of course they will be. It'll be history, you fuckwit. We went through this last time. Everything
I'm not
matters.
letting my kids go to school when that becomes on the curriculum.
If you homeschool your children, mate, that will be the best experiment in the entire world.
Yeah.
What would happen? What would they be like?
God knows. I don't know.
They'd be great. Obviously, they'd be well mannered. They'd be, they'd be bright. Certainly, I know they'd be inquisitive, but fucking hell, man.
Yeah, that'd be all wrong, won't it?
It would be, Tom, because it'd be you in your garage, and you'd quickly stray up to the limits of things, and possibly just make some stuff up, mate.
Yeah, I end up brainwashing them with the wrong facts.
Or I mean, let's face it. In 100 years, they could all be worshipping whatever religion is birthed from that process of making shit up.
I might found a new religion in my garage with my kids.
That would just the three of us, but we are God's chosen people. Keep it to yourself. That's all you'd have to do, Tony, is to make the perfect
Might
religion.
not need to involve God.
Yeah, to tell them whatever the hell you like, and then just say and keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
And then be that, because then they could go around, teach them not to be smug, obviously, but they'd go around knowing the ultimate truth, never having to bother anybody with it.
Made a decision this week. Announcement on the show.
All right.
I'm going to learn to drive.
Oh, no shit.
Yep.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Why? Why?
Well, as you know,
Why not?
I've never driven a car, so I'm going to go out on Monday night somewhere that's not on the road, obviously, and have a go. And he said, I've got to buy some magnetic L plates. No,
really planning ahead, man.
Yeah, no, he was good. No, because that was him. He was like, yeah, do that. He says, if need be, I can drive you around or get you on the insurance for the car. And like for a bit, you could pay that and just, you know what I mean? We'll be able to go out and drive around. He said, get yourself a, what's it called? Provisional.
Yeah, of course,
I haven't done.
That's really cool. How much did it cost, if you don't mind me asking?
50 quid.
$50.
The thing is, I text James then to say, I've done it. And he asked me the same question. He thinks, he had his provisional in 1999 and he's quite adamant. He thinks it was 40 quid then.
Yeah?
Which, he might be slightly wrong, but he can't be that far out. And
No, I think
14. He's saying 40. It might be 14.
I don't know, 1999, that's adjusting for inflation, that's pretty bad. Having said that, passports cost like best part of 100 quid, don't they?
No. Talking about passports, that's the thing. Mine's due next year as well.
How much is a renewal for passport? I think it's like 80 quid.
Probably, yeah.
Oh shit, I can't remember.
But also, depending on
Well, that's Justin. Well, that's the well-travelled...
Yeah. But what I've been thinking about the last couple of days is when I realised that depending on the outcome of tomorrow, I might have to apply for a Scottish passport or a...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
A British one, you know?
Fucking brilliant.
Isn't that interesting?
What will the Scottish passport look like, do you reckon? Tartan sleeved?
Yeah, with a lion rampant on it.
A tweed passport.
That'd be awesome.
Go on, Scotland, stay. I reckon stay. Tone?
Stay. I do think stay. I just like the fact that they're part of Britain.
I like the fact that a
Wales,
fucking don't have to show a passport if going on a train to Scotland.
Yeah, you never know, it might not happen, mate.
I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. Polls can show that people will say one thing, but it's whether they actually vote that way that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the BNP, all fucking controversy and stuff, and shock and protest votes and whatever. But yeah, careful what you protest against. You might just get it. The world might be the seas might be overpopulated with whales if we stop nuking them.
Would that be so bad?
Overpopulated with whales is what I said. So you can't move for whales. So there's all other sea life dies, and it's just a row of whales. You can walk over the sea now, but you have to just go careful for blowholes and things like that. But they're just wedged in tight, and like new ones are born, they just sort of squeeze out like that.
How do they have sex?
like they can roll over. It goes boy, girl, like a conga line.
All right, so
they
they're
can-
organised, these whales.
Well, yeah, it's evolution. They'd adapt. So yeah, they just roll over, do a sex, and then and then a calf is born. Of course, some of them will die. The other ones will eat them, just sort of nibbling to the side, and then it'd be boy, and then they duel until one of them died, and then they create a tiny little gap for new whales to be born. It's a genuine concern. I don't know why.
And it's whales all the way down, drowning.
Oh yeah, it'd be
No,
creepy,
no,
that.
one layer of whales.
All right, and underneath the sea.
Like
Where there's
Wales,
no
the country,
sunlight.
like land, but actually Wales.
Right, okay. And there's no sunlight underneath them then. There's just
They
the
roll,
dark
as I
sea.
say, they can roll when they.
No, but underneath them, there'll be loads of water underneath them still, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Some of them will get done by sharks who like nibble at the bottom. Oh, so there'll be enough to keep it tightly compacted. But I'm talking, in 50 years, if we stop the whaling industry, then that's what's going to happen. That's mine and David Icke's, most conservative estimate on the situation. Ian Paisley dead, Tone.
Who's Ian Paisley? I might know him if you tell
I
me
think
what-
you might.
I probably do know him by face, but not by name.
Ian Paisley, the famous shouter.
Yeah.
What, tennis player? Oh,
Really?
sorry, have I got that one wrong?
Yes, you have. Yeah, he was not a tennis player.
He was a Irish evangelical minister. He became involved in Ulster Unionist loyalist politics in the late 1950s. In the mid to late 1960s, he led and instigated loyalist opposition to the Catholic civil rights movement in Northern Ireland. This led to the outbreak of the Troubles in the late 1960s, a conflict that would engulf Northern Ireland for the next 30 years. He was a member of Parliament for Northern Antrim. He was member European Parliament. He was the First Minister, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, I think so.
After the Good Friday Agreement and things.
And all
Like
thanks
you.
to enforce religious segregation there. So things to be happy about. It's
I think my most famous thing is because he was a minister, so he preached and things, and he preached against homosexuality. And in 1977, he launched the Save Ulster from Sodomy campaign
Oh my god.
because he
Yeah.
hated gay men. Really, I think is what it is. It's
I
not-
think we conversed about this. I think what people really have against gay people, especially religious, is gay men, and more specifically,
Yeah, that's what
men,
it is.
Men putting their cocks up another man's ass. That's it. That's what they always go on about. Sodomy, sodomy, sodomy. Sodom and Gomorrah. Sodomy, sodomy.
It's about the act of being gay. It's about the the sexual act
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
gay people,
Yeah,
not them being gay themselves. Because I've heard
So it's
like,
okay, is it?
Well, I've heard Christians saying things like gay people can get to heaven as long as they don't act on their sexual impulse.
So as long as you deny every
Yeah.
natural
Yeah.
impulse in your being,
Yeah.
you'll be all right and
Yeah,
go to
because
heaven.
you see that it's the actual act itself. I remember a mate of mine in school that was gay in secondary school, and he was a Christian, and he said that because I was like, how do you find it being a Christian with it saying that it's against homosexuality and stuff, and that's what I remember. One of the things he said to me was it's the act
Yeah.
that
So just nearly as ridiculous, if not just as ridiculous as saying that, being gay is wrong. No, being gay is fine. They say hate the sin, not the sinner. Ugh. What a tremendously fucking patronising thing to say to somebody. I don't hate you, I hate what you do and what you are.
Well, the priest that was on about earlier, the one that stopped me on the street and made that comment to me, he's gay as well.
Yeah.
And I remember when he first told me that he used to be a priest, he goes, "Oh yeah." He knew I was shocked by that because he told me. Well, I knew he was. Well, it was obvious that he was homosexual before he told me that he used to be a priest. So do you know what he said to me? I was in the middle of the street. Didn't even know him that well. He goes, "Yeah, and so I used to be a priest." Oh yeah. You're surprised, aren't you? Because I used to be a priest until I decided that I wasn't happy keeping my willy tucked away. Yeah, he was like, because I wanted to, play around with it. And that's how he said. That was his reason. That's what he said to me.
That's fair. There's a lot
And
of
that's what he said. He
heterosexual
left.
probably left the.
Totally agree. But the point being, I think, is that was his first conversation with you.
One of our first, yeah.
I read something brilliant that was in the Viz magazine, and it read, I'm really into those new urinals that they've got at service stations. The warm air feels really good on your cock, but the piss gets blown everywhere.
Oh.
You want to go with them Dyson blade things?
Yeah.
Fucking scary the first time that happened when you see the skin just like ruffle up.
I think it's
Yeah.
well
Dry? Fucking right, you'll be dry.
Yeah, but that's the point. Those other hand dryers, a lot of time they just don't cut it.
It is odd, man. The first time, yeah, I think early hand dryers were absolutely shit.
Did you ever go in those big ones in Centre Park? Centre Park?
No. After a
Those
swimming
ones
pool,
you
after a
stand
swim. Yeah, no.
Oh,
They have them at like theme parks as well. Like after the water rides and that. But yeah, it's £1 a go, and it just gets you warm. So not dry,
Yeah, it's just
warm with like wet clothes on.
See, that's no good, is it?
No, it's shit.
Rubbish.
Good way to make cash though.
Yeah, damn right.
World War III started then.
When you're gonna live a long time, Tom.
I hope so.
Longer than either of us. I'm confident.
I'm quite confident that if anyone in this room is going to read the history of the 21st century, it's going to be you, mate. You're probably not going to have it as a paper book. You're probably going to read it on a tablet, or it'll just be
Great grandfather, you've lived for so long. Tell us the wonders
Yeah.
of the 20th and 21st century.
big white beard, curly white hair.
Well, let's hope I don't end up being the last oldest, person.
I think you make a great oldest because they'd be expecting a little
All
bit of
these
dementia.
reporters coming to my house then saying, "Oh, please tell us about the years that we, that you experienced firsthand."
Yeah, as the last human alive, please tell. Oh, if there was a disaster, Tone, and like just somehow you were just reading a book or something, walking, not looking where you were going, and fell into the secret escape capsule meant for maybe the president or something, and just have flown off to an already inhabited planet. They went, right, he's here. Tell us about your economics. Tell us about your agriculture.
It's basically like you homeschooling your kids on a large scale. That's what we're talking about, isn't it?
If I was ever going to homeschool my kids, I'd have to make
Don't do it.
No, I'm not going to. But I'd have to make sure that I took like 3-4 years of preparing it first. Planning.
They start school at 4, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Where? I'll be off.
Making sure I get it perfect. Everything I think that's important that we learn about.
Start
how
planning
to
as
go
soon as
about
that blue strip comes up on on the pregnancy test.
That's amazing.
Have the whole homeschooling program ready to go, and then be like, right, we start today.
Yeah.
They're like 15.
But you finally got through that set of encyclopedias.
Yeah, that might be your one of your few Facebook statuses when you know that Lauren's pregnant. And you just go, I've got some fantastic and exciting news to share with everybody. I'm going to be a teacher.
Yeah.
But my point about the book, the history of the 21st century,
World War III.
may well say that World War III started around sometime in the last couple of years, the last few years. Was that his point?
Yeah, that was his point.
We should say what this is.
Antonio, your mate, the Pope Francis,
Yeah.
said this week that World War III has pretty much already started. Increase in crime, increase in debauched behaviour, increase in bumming, increase in Johnnies.
He said there was a lot of upheaval, massacres, a lot of conflict
End
in
of the world.
He didn't put it all down to.
No, he didn't. He didn't. To
Or
be
any of
fair,
it.
Talking about Revelations, is it? Was he trying to?
I don't think he's saying the end of the world.
No, I don't think
but,
so. He was at a First World War grave, wasn't he? Graveyard in was it? Where was it? It was in Bosnia or somewhere like that, wasn't it?
I'm not
In
100%,
Serbia.
mate.
But anyway, he was at this thing, and in his speech when he was talking about kind of horrors of the First World War, remembering the dead and all that type of stuff, the lessons to learn. He said that World War III had basically already started in, it's just we didn't call it that yet.
Very poor taste, isn't it? At a First World War grave. Then to say, well.
Well, we've never learned any lessons from.
Two more of these.
That's honest, Pope, mate.
Nah. Think they'll call it honest Francis.
Not too honest, obviously. he's still he wants to keep his job, so he's still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's his point? Because
I think Ken made it. I think he's saying that we haven't learned and there's still shit going on, so people need to sort their fucking head out.
Yeah.
I've paraphrased.
I think my point is just as you were saying that a lot of people, the general consensus we pinpoint that the assassination of Franz Ferdinand was the beginning of the First World War, but you were saying other people place it differently. In the same way that the Second World War, some people say the invasion of Poland, some people say the Treaty of Versailly, don't they?
Yeah, of course.
And so on, there's all these.
Many people say the First World War.
Yeah, right, exactly. In effect, that where we're living now, from our perspective on the times, we can't see it, but that in a few years' time or something, or in 100 years' time, whatever, when people write the history books, it will be traced back that actually, say for example, when the Russians went into Crimea.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, that was actually
Yeah.
the point at which, and then things destabilised from there. I think that was just his.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. At the time, you don't realise that was the start of something bigger.
Yeah.
Of course
But
not.
you'll
Yeah.
know in like.
Because
few more
people
years.
really plan for, you know.
So as I say, when you're teaching, like, I don't know, a little Giuseppe, Junior,
Yeah.
Beppe, and Alfonso, when you're schooling them in the garage
Margarita.
with your white beard.
Yeah. Okay, gather around. History. We start with Mussolini.
And when you get to World War III, yeah, you'd be Vladimir Putin, the Pope,
Yeah.
and the rest of that evening was a blur. What do you think of that, though? Do you think he's right?
Well, yeah. What his point?
Well, yeah. Well, do you think he could actually be right, that it could have already started and we're just not calling it World War III yet? That
Yeah, I do think so. Yeah.
Wow.
I do think it kind of is. I mean, there's a lot of countries involved in it, and so you could say that it is a world war.
potentially. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it?
Because it's because of allies that make it a world war, right? Because you've got like a number of countries fighting against another number of countries.
Yeah.
So
you've got things
it
like
is a
Russia.
world war.
NATO came to
point,
Newport
right?
and said, you know,
Mm.
impose sanctions on Russia. Things going on in
No, I don't know.
Israel and things.
Yeah, no, it was really eloquent. You said, Tony. You said it's allies that make it a world war because
Yeah.
if you align yourself with a country and then that country's invaded, then you have to. Yeah, it just builds on that. That was
I mean,
excellent.
just because Mongolia isn't involved in it, doesn't mean it's not a world war.
No, I know.
We all know that the Mongols have got a pretty violent history as well. So no, they're pretty all right. There was a Mongolia Day at my school.
What?
Yeah, there really was. I don't know what year I was in, maybe 9 or 10, I swear to, I promise you, man, there was a Mongolia Day. Anybody who's listened to this, it was from Lansford Major Comprehensive School. Do you remember Mongolia Day, when we were in assembly and those throat singers came in and they were singing with their throats? It sounds pretty, it's not erotic, but it's just not singing as we know it. So everybody, of course, every child in there was pissing themselves laughing at this cultural diversity on the show.
You weren't dressed up, were you?
No.
You
Don't say I look Mongolian.
no, but you might get away.
I haven't said that.
Yeah, you might be able to get away with a traditional dress. You know.
Yeah.
Why was there a Mongolia Day?
I've no
Why did they
idea.
think that? Did they
I
have-
have no idea. For all the culture that was in, my school, which wasn't too much, it wasn't sort of heavily mixed. There wasn't a lot of representatives from.
No, but did they do other days regularly?
no,
was there-
no, only the same as any other school would do, like with trips to France or to Germany or something.
Right, so it wasn't a regular thing that every few months you'd have Germany Day.
No. There was a
Egypt
Mongolia
Day.
Day. No, and it was such a big deal. They brought Mongolians, mate. They brought fucking these two throat
Do you
singers.
think that was the origin of it? Some teacher during his school holidays, he disappeared for a bit. He kind of wanders off in the 6-week
That's
holidays.
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Met some Mongolians
Yeah,
and
he
said,
thought,
look,
oh wow.
I will be king of that school
Yeah.
if I bring back Mongolia Day to Lansford Major.
did it become an institution? Is it still going on?
There is a huge and thriving Mongolian community in Mongolia, nowhere near Lansford Major.
You can imagine that teacher going into the headmaster's office and just saying to the headmaster, right, can I run
Sir,
by
Mr. Lightman, I think was the... Well, I hate it with that with teachers. Good morning, Mr. Black.
I wondered if
Morning,
I
Mr.
could get
Smith. Fucking shut up.
I wondered
Stop
if I could
it.
get your permission to bring 2 Mongolians in tomorrow for the class.
Mongolians, you said.
How many? How many were there? Was it 2? How many Mongolians?
I think there were 2 throat singers, but I'm not sure if there were more through the day, sort of doing, I don't know, horse riding displays or something like that.
What, in the school field or something? Like, fucking hell.
There were no horses that I can remember. As far as I remember, there was just this big build-up to Mongolia Day. Assemblies, and they were like, we've all been speaking about Mongolia Day. There is Mongolia.
It's such a strange thing to choose.
I know.
In our primary school, we had something called Olden Days. And
Brilliant.
yeah, Olden Day, and we'd have to go in dressed up as like school kids from the old days, like Victorian days, so like little shorts with like socks pulled right
Just
up
because
and
the
stuff.
school was in
and
such bad
and like
disrepair.
flat caps and all that, right? And the teacher for the whole day would pretend to teach you like they would have done in the old days. So she had a
Did you get a cane?
Yeah, she had a cane and a bloody one of those cone hat things. If you're
A
annoyed.
dunce hat.
Yeah.
They cut. Is
Yeah.
that how they?
Yeah.
That was a teacher's best day, I guarantee.
Yeah.
When he was like, "Oh, it's Olden Day coming up. Oh,
Yeah,
fucking
arm
right,
your
right.
weapon.
I can't wait to fucking smack those little bastards and put that rem in a corner."
But I remember, mate, there was one teacher one year when we did it. she got so into it,
Oh, no.
she was so strict that everyone, like, 5 people started crying in the class, like, and she had to stop and say, look, it's all right, we just, I'm just trying to show you how it used to be. And she was like, crying.
When the second child cries,
She was just like,
5 is too many. That would have been a discussion, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been the meeting before. Right, it's Olden Day coming up. We all love it. Okay, right. Just a couple of things now. The limit for crying children before you stop has been increased. Way! It's only been increased by 2. But you
With
5
the second child
Yeah.
cries.
Yeah,
It's a
but
Michael Bolton song, isn't it?
yeah, just waving a
Probably.
cane about, shouting at you, like, with waving a cane in your face and stuff. You go, get in that corner now. And keep quiet. And like, it was crazy. I didn't understand what the hell the point of it was.
did you enjoy it? Did you like sort of dressing up? and
Yeah,
stuff?
it was
Did you-
fun dressing up and everything. It
Oh,
was
so you
quite
enjoyed
fun. A lot of kids-
history coming to life there. What was the point?
I don't know, but a lot of kids used to laugh about it until that one day where the teacher just seemed to take it way too far. She was horrible, mate.
That's so brilliant. Which school was this?
Mega primary school.
I like the idea of Olden Day. That seems quite fun. Oh, did you have any rumours about teachers when you were going to school? When I went to primary school now, so from infants to primary
here we
school,
go.
I remember one of them saying that this Mr. with a moustache, one of the few, like there was only a couple of male teachers in primary school. Mr. Mr. Yeah, Mr. And there was one thing that he did that was true that nobody mentioned, but somebody said, yeah, he gets that angry, he shouts so loud that things shake on the desk, and he picks up a tin of scissors and launches it at whoever's making the most noise. Like, oh my god, a tin of scissors. A full tin of scissors. My mate Stephen, 2 fingers missing on his left
How
hand.
did that happen though? Because if you launch a tin of scissors, it's all the handles there.
No, he perfected it. I think Ken, I'm like 8 or something at this point.
Just saying, if this man
In
is
our
spreading these
mind,
rumours...
dude, in our mind, it wasn't a guy in a maroon shirt in like stained trousers. He used to scratch his balls and sniff his hand. That was the thing they didn't mention. Yeah, serious. Just chilling, just like reading a book, and you'd be doing your work when you were all out to like write a story or something. You just look up quickly, just be there, sort of gently fucking masturbating, and yeah, and then just like fucking draw his hand up to his face. I'll take his name out of this.
Yeah, I was going to say, because when you said about stories in school and stuff, and I said, oh, here we go, because there's one, I won't mention our name right there. This can't have been true, but then, who knows? There was a persistent rumour in my secondary school that one of the art teachers had been in a porn mag.
Oh, amazing.
And it was like, but the problem was every so often it would come, when you had it come up, it was things like, oh yeah, because it was so-and-so's brother in the year above who found it. And it was like, yeah, they're photo shooting the spread. It involved a pool cue. I say that now. This is the story that went around. I've never seen any evidence of this. No, as far as I'm concerned, nobody ever did. And I don't know if there is any evidence. But yeah, there was this story, and he had it, and then that's how everybody knows about it. And then eventually, when I was in sort of like, I think in 3rd year, her son was in the 1st year, and someone was telling me about it, like, oh yeah, because so-and-so had it, and like, yeah, like we told him about it. And then there was another story about like, oh yeah, because like Jimmy stuck the pages up in the boys' toilet and stuff, and like just,
absolute shite.
Yeah, just rubbish.
Or somebody's brother did see a porno mag, like
Yeah,
you
it
found
looked
it,
a
like you
bit
found
like-
in bushes in the day.
Yeah.
And, it looked a bit like it.
So I looked a bit like her. The other one was that there were 2 math teachers who were quite attractive, and people said they were gay.
Yeah,
Said they
yeah,
were
yeah.
lovers.
That happened in my.
Yeah, it's funny that, isn't
comprehensive
it?
school
It was
as well.
all boys who were
Yeah,
saying
they
it,
live
like,
together.
I'll be honest.
No idea that now, like when you finish uni and stuff, you realise that trainee teachers, when they go to teach, they're mates and they live together. And if they were to get employed in the same place, that'd be really cool.
No. 2 adults living together means
Yeah, definitely.
sexual relationship. I'll tell you what, there was another one. There was a what did he teach? He was a computing teacher who had apparently played for Paris Saint-Germain. And everyone said, like, no, because so-and-so had a photo of him, and it's like he's jumping doing a header. Like, so specific, there's one photo.
Yeah, just on his desk, facing the children. Good morning, children. Say, what's that? No, nobody said anything, sir. Oh, no, sorry, I thought you were asking about the photograph. I'll turn that round.
Yeah, it's funny, I do still have my strip. I'm wearing it under my shirt. The one that was really, really cool was we had this substitute teacher guy that used to come in, sort of peripatetic and stuff. And he, there was a story that he had been a pilot and a test pilot and stuff. And when we asked him, it was true.
Awesome.
When we asked him, "Did you ever crash?" he said he was, he wasn't too chuffed really, because we were obviously stupid. Because if he'd crashed, he would be dead.
I just remembered a female teacher in primary school, and I always remember her, like when it came to the days where you used to bring gifts in for your teacher, like on the end
Fucking
of
suck up. Look at you stoolie.
before the summer holidays and stuff. Your parents would get you stuff to bring to. Everyone always used to get things to do with sheep, right? Like mugs of sheep on, whatever.
Was she into sheep?
Yeah, well, the one day, she turned around and she told the class that she was a shepherd. A shepherdess or something. And I remember thinking, oh, wow, shepherdess.
Mum,
She's a shepherdess.
Yeah, you know Mrs. Shepherd? Yeah. Is she,
So, yeah.
So nobody knew you while
I
you were
don't know
giving
what
her,
to do with that one.
sheep-related
It's
things?
did I just misunderstand? At the time, was she cracking a joke? Was the reason why she was getting all these things with sheep on just because she was Welsh? I don't know.
What was this thing that it was a day that everyone at the end of school, everyone took gifts in for the teacher?
Well, it wasn't. It was. I think it was just the end of each term.
Oh, that's sweet.
Like to say thanks for the year. Like
You said he
thanks
was
for-
at a really small fucking junior school. It's probably like 8 people.
True,
Yeah, we used
true.
to bring gifts in and cards and stuff to say thank you. And like when it got to the end of the year, when we were about to move on to the next year, we'd bring them gifts as well. The teacher that we'd had for that year.
There were dinner ladies.
Dinner ladies, oh yeah, the good dinner lady that used to, every time I walked up to get served at the canteen, in primary school again now this is, she used to sing this song from a musical called Antonio. And I've never seen this musical, but she used to go, oh
beautiful.
no, Antonio. And that's all I remember. Oh, here comes Antonio and all this. And she used to sing it to me every time. She used to love me.
If we find that, mate, every time you're introduced on this podcast now, it's going to be
Yeah,
Ken Trainer, Justin Cliff, whoever. Oh, Antonio.
I don't know why I've never tried looking for it. I really should.
Yeah, that's the thing that will sort of come to you at about 3 o'clock in the morning, a bit drunk. Oh, speaking of a bit drunk, yeah, on a recent Facebook post, it seems that I owe you a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah, you do, mate.
I completely forgot. I have to be reminded about these things.
That
but
wasn't even last year, that was the year before, wasn't it?
Exactly. So my short term and quite clearly my long term memory needs to be jogged every now and again to right all the wrongs I've done. I'm like Quantum Leap.
It's alright, mate, just get me one for Christmas.
What is this? Why did you owe him a bottle of whiskey?
He left a bottle of whiskey here and I drank it.
Ah, right, okay.
And to be fair to him, I did leave it there like Christmas Eve on it, or 2 nights for Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah. Any nominations for Hero of the Week, guys? I've got nothing.
Heroes. Yeah, I've got a nomination for Heroes of the Week for the very first time, Dan.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I don't know the names, but you know what happened in Manchester with the dog kennels burning down.
Yeah.
2 men that went in there whilst it was burning to rescue the dogs, as many dogs as they could.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I just think that's pretty amazing, really, that you would think about it, right? Would you go into a burning building to rescue dogs? You know, it is a bit of a
No,
you would for people. You would attempt it to save a human
no.
being, but would you go
Still a burning
exactly,
building.
Even that is
If
heroic.
it was you, Tone, I'd go in for you. I'd go in for Ken.
To risk your life, your life for a dog is pretty. You know, I think they're definitely my nomination for
It's pretty selfless.
I wish I remembered their names, but I just thought it was amazing, really, that the 2 people did that. And Simon Cowell, because Simon Cowell donated loads of money for the dogs in order to find homes and that. Simon Cowell paid for these guys to go on a holiday
Right.
after they did
Generous that from
Just 'cause he-
the billionaire.
that. He just loves dogs.
Well, he
so
didn't
he's
have to do
like,
it, I
oh,
suppose.
Nah, I'm only messing. Go Simon Cowell. You are not this week's Hero of the Week, of course. We'll find out those 2 gents' names and we'll have them. We'll give them a proper fanfare.
have you got any? Heroes?
He's on it. He's on Antonio the Musical. He's on fucking Dog Rescuers.
Because I've got a cunt of the week as well.
Oh, Tone, bring on your cunt of the week,
and that's
mate.
the 14-year-old boy that actually set the dog kennels on fire.
Is he named? Or, because he's so young, is it just sort of random bastard?
I didn't get his
How
name.
do they? So they definitely know that it was a 14-year-old.
Yeah,
kid
and he
who
did it on purpose and
15-year-old.
watched.
15-year-old.
Yeah.
And watched it, like did it on purpose and stood there and watched the building burn down. Like.
Statistically, it's more likely this guy will have been cunt of the week more than once.
Right.
Because we've had Justin Bieber more than once. But no, it's Kanye West.
I think we had him last week, didn't we?
Did we?
No.
Wasn't it Kanye West
No,
about
CeeLo Green.
About the... Oh, was it CeeLo Green?
CeeLo Green, Ray Rice,
No, it was
MPs. We're all...
Samuel L. Jackson, wasn't it? Sorry?
No.
No, wasn't it? Who was it that you were saying about?
Lawrence Fishburne, that's who you were on
in
about.
court or something. He was in court or something, and he
CeeLo Green.
Yeah.
CeeLo Green.
said something about
Kanye West stopped singing mid-gig in Australia. And this was to ensure that everybody was standing up. So one of his more famous numbers, I guess. I haven't watched the video. I can't bring myself to do it. And he waits for everybody to stand up. And he's looking through the audience and he's like, everybody stand up.
He actually says, I've watched it, he says, I can't do the next song unless everyone stands up.
All right.
He's on their feet.
Until everyone's on their feet. A lot of people didn't stand up. And he just waited and waited and waited.
There is a point
goading the crowd, goading people to point out people who were sitting down in the crowd. So they were getting booed. So I don't know who these fucking idiots are who are standing up. So collectively, they're cunts of the week. We're going, yeah, standing ovation for Kanye. Standing ovation. What the fuck have you done? Anyway, he got particularly angry with two people who he thought refused to stand up. And pointed at them. Again, made sure the crowd knew who they were. They started booing. Until one guy held up a prosthetic limb. And then the other guy was seen to be in a wheelchair.
Oh.
So unable to stand. Not taking it at face value, he sent his cronies down to make sure the guy was in a wheelchair and to make sure that he couldn't walk and to make sure that the other guy wasn't just pissing about with a prosthetic limb.
What a...
And then he went, if he's in a wheelchair, that's cool. I ain't saying she a gold digger or whatever the fuck he went on to sing.
Oh my God, what an absolute cunt.
Yeah, I know. It's difficult to pick one now because there's been a few weeks where there's been some right cunts. 15-year-old unnamed boy who burns down kennels for fun. And Kanye West, you insensitive, deluded prick. You are both this week's cunts of the week.
Horrible cunts.
Just before we move on then, Jason Dyer, 41, and his nephew Dean Rostock, 25, are the two gentlemen who jumped over the fence into the dog's home, kicked open the kennel doors after they heard the dogs barking in panic. They rescued around 20, they put them on leads, brought them to safety before, trying to get them to the nearby fence and things.
Fantastic.
So I guess, they just
Crazy, really,
grabbed however many dogs they could.
That's nice, actually, after that horrible rant about those two horrible people. Two brilliant people. Well done. Deserved heroes of the week.
Yeah.
Are you ready, mate?
Not really, but I never am. Go on.
It's time for a question of tone. Antonio.
Yes, Daniel.
Have you seen the film The Human Centipede?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't think I've seen it all the way through properly, but I've seen a lot of it. Yeah.
Okay, so in The Human Centipede, a mad doctor sews people ass to mouth. 3 people.
Yeah.
You, your mum, and your dad have been captured by this scientist, by this odd doctor. You have to choose the order you go in.
Oh, that's gross.
Go ahead, mate.
Who the hell came up with this question? This is yours, isn't it?
No, this is not mine.
Oh, sick that is, isn't it?
This comes from the faraway shores of a land called China, from Mr.
Well,
Justin Cliff.
I'm just trying to picture me, my mum and my dad sat around trying to decide which way around we were going to do it.
No. You decide. There's
I decide.
Yeah, you decide.
Why
This
do I
is the
decide?
democratic process.
No way.
Why do I
He's
decide?
just gone, and now you must decide which order you go. He's wanking.
Well, I'd be quite selfish and put myself at the front.
Okay. So, whose mouth would you
Oh dear.
would you have
This is gross.
attached to you?
Well, my dad's probably got the strongest stomach out of the 3 of us. So my dad would be right at the very end, right at the bottom.
You could just explain it away by going, I can't pick a favourite, so I can't pick either one of you to go at the front. So I'll just do it in alphabetical order. So Dad goes first in the middle. Mum at the back. DM.
Yeah. Sorry, Mum. Sorry, Dad, but I'm gonna have to go in front. You guys will have to just take the brunt of it.
Fantastic. Well done. That's a really good one.
Horrible question, that was.
Are you sitting comfortably?
Yes.
That might end soon. as we enter the Twilight Tone.
What about the Bermuda Triangle tone? What do you think of that? Also known as the Devil's Triangle.
Ooh.
Again, mate, I just think, you know.
Do you know what it is?
Do you know what it is first?
Well, I think it's is it the thing in the ocean, in the middle of the ocean somewhere where
Yeah,
where like ships and stuff have just disappeared and stuff.
yeah, it's in the North
Yeah.
Atlantic. Yeah, it's kind of like the southern tip of Florida, and then it goes out over the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Ships, aeroplanes, loads of mysterious disappearances there. For
How
years.
do they know that it isn't just like what do you call those massive whirlwind things in the water?
A whirlpool.
Yeah, it could be one of them just sucking everything up.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's considered one of the most dangerous shipping lanes, I think. But
Certainly after all the fucking disappearances.
yeah, but no one's ever spotted a big whirlpool, mate. And where would the water go?
Well, yeah, no, that's a good point.
But you do get whirlpools.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
So how does that work?
Well, I remember seeing something in the National Geographic where there was
Ooh,
like
highbrow alarm.
really deep caves, like holes at the bottom of the ocean,
Okay.
Have you seen that?
and they're so powerful, like the pressure, that if a scuba diver gets like within like meters from it, it could suck them, pull them in, pull them right under.
Okay.
Oh,
You
shit.
never know. It might be something like that.
But we're not just talking about just, like a boat with 3 people on it. The USS Cyclops,
Oh,
for
what the
example.
fuck?
This is a
Oh,
US
that's-
Navy ship,
Well, what would I mean?
It's
Well,
in 1918, but it's,
unless there is such thing as a parallel universe, and
Nice.
there are like actual like gateways into the universe, and that would explain what's that thing in space called as well.
a wormhole.
Yeah, that would explain that as well. That there's like we're in a box, and there's like
So you think they ended up
areas where
somewhere
you
else?
just get sucked into this.
Somewhere
other
else in
universe.
space and time?
There might be. I mean, you're telling me that a massive ship just like disappeared, no trace of it. Like, how do you explain that? But again, it's just another mystery that will remain a mystery, and they were probably just good at hiding. I don't know what those ships are good at hiding. Really good
If it
captain.
was a wormhole, man, yeah, they'd all be dead anyway, wouldn't they? If they got spat out into space.
Look, men, there's a tree in the middle of the ocean. Let's go hide behind it.
That's how the Titanic went down. We'll play a trick and we'll hide behind the iceberg. It'll be great. Oh, careful now.
Okay.
What if we hit it? We're not going to hit the
Steady.
Oh god! What a weird accident. Anybody see that? You saw it. Shh. Did anybody see that? No. Women
don't
and
know
children
what you're
first.
talking about,
Yeah. Women and children first. Leave the Irish. That was the moral of the film, wasn't it?
That's what I took from it.
Fall in love. One of you will die. Women and children first.
It is a thing. If you say to people, have you seen Titanic? What do you remember about that film? Anyone I've ever asked that, they tell you the boat sank.
No way.
I don't know. I remember the bit where Leonardo DiCaprio's got Kate Winslet naked and paint drawing her,
Fair point, Tom.
That's certainly the most
You're not-
rewound
you're not
bit
like
on
the
my
rest of us.
and
Titanic.
that bit where the hand hits the window with all the condensation on it.
Oh.
Yeah, no, simulating sex
Yeah.
is not as good as actually seeing just a live booby, just like sort of, laid there. It's great. Good necklace as
But
well.
you know the film where all the like crew getting together, and that one guy is the guy who designed the ship explains to them how in a couple of hours it's gonna it's completely split and all this kind of stuff. He preempts it. It's gonna be really, really bad. Do you reckon that actually would have gone down? Like as in that sort of meeting would have taken place? Because I
imagine it might have done.
But
Yeah.
I don't reckon they would have actually realised. See, I reckon that they wouldn't have been that panicked. A lot of people would have been thinking, right, it's sinking slowly. We've just got to queue up, get on a boat,
Queue up.
get on one of the lifeboats. Not realising that it was going to get to a point where where the weight of it would actually lift the whole thing vertical.
Do you remember?
I reckon that would have come as a shock even to the
Yeah, but
captain and the.
Do you
and
remember
sailors.
what the most infamous thing was about the lifeboats on the Titanic?
That they weren't enough of them.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
people would die. Like I think they thought as soon as it was going to sink,
Yeah.
then that was that.
Yeah, they panicked over.
As Kate Winslet expertly points out, because she's a lady who's good at maths in the film, that she works out there's not enough lifeboats, and then they go, look, I challenge God himself to sink this ship.
I'll tell you one thing I like about the Titanic. I remember seeing in a documentary some time ago, a historian or someone telling the story of a guy who was a chef on the ship, and when it was getting up, really sinking and stuff, he downed a bottle of vodka because that was his way of trying to cope with it. And as the ship went vertical and went into the water, he was stood up on the back of one of the big chimney things.
Holy shit!
And then ended up in the water, and got picked up by a lifeboat like an hour or two later and stuff, but survived because of the amount of alcohol in his blood.
Oh yeah,
kept him
No way.
kind of warm
Did you say
in
it
the.
was the captain?
No, he was like a chef or something.
that would have been in the film. Why wasn't that guy in the film?
Oh, that should have been in the film. Man.
Yeah.
That would have been the best part of the
It would
film.
have been great, and then afterwards, after seeing the film, finding out that it was based on it was a true story.
That would have detracted so much away from that shitty love story.
That would be the thing that would undercut the death scene at the end, wouldn't it? Because
Yeah,
it was
of course.
like, look, all you had to do was get pissed.
Yeah,
And you'd have been
that's right.
fine.
Yeah, but I bet you the director found out about that little fact after he made the film. It's like, shit, that would have been a really interesting thing to put in there.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Poor Cameron. Not saying he doesn't do his research, but he didn't do his research. Not on that bit. Was there a string quartet?
That played on.
Yeah.
What, for real?
Yeah.
You're asking, I don't know.
I think there was. I think that was part of an account.
Until they realised he was going to say,
The
fuck this.
I think the survivors spoke of it, of how they kept playing to keep.
Well, how they hallucinated in the blind panic. That there
I
was
swear it was true.
there was a swing dance going
Well,
on.
it could be. It's a very famous thing. But
Yeah.
it's partly famous because people like it, because it's a wonderful idea, isn't it? That They might have done that.
I really like that bit of the film as well, when they finally turn to each other. The leader of the band, turns to them and says, gentlemen.
Hit it!
Yeah, not quite like that, Dan. I think that was the Muppets version of Titanic. They should definitely do that.
Well, the Muppets Titanic?
Titanic, that'd be
Jesus
great.
Christ. No, Kermit. No.
No, but he just turns around and he goes, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
then they just run away from each other.
Yeah, Animal. That'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah. That is a thing. Why are there no Muppet disaster films,
Oh, God.
Oh, amazing.
It's disaster or war films that,
Oh, yeah, maybe,
Full
yeah.
Metal Muppet.
Kermit Gump. Silent Ben.
Was that a Forrest Gump impression? Or
No, that
it
was supposed to be
Forrest Gump?
Kermit, yeah.
He has to play a fucking mentally challenged frog in that role.
It would be his best role, though. It would be really an opportunity
Oh
for
no,
him
of course!
to show his
No, it's
versatility.
perfect. Kermit Gump as Miss Piggy as Jenny. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It'd be really
Fantastic.
good, wouldn't it?
Little Robin, the AIDS baby. I only found that out recently. Like in the last, I watched that film 50 times, easily. And she's on about this virus, and I'm like, yeah, she's got HIV, man. That sucks. She's gonna die of AIDS. And at no point did I think that kid's HIV positive, because that would ruin the film. Well, it's not ruined it. Best
No, but it does. Yeah. Good roles though. For Bubba and Lieutenant Dan.
Oh, Bubba, that requires some careful casting, I feel, so that you don't get like a really racist rendition of
Well,
it.
we'll take if anyone wants to suggest any.
Anyone wants to suggest any films with Muppets in the title or roles that the Muppets could play for the separate characters in Forrest Gump, you can email us, thelast7podcast@gmail.com, or follow us on Twitter @thelast7.
And we'll reveal the full cast next week, I hope. Could even act out a couple of scenes. You lucky listeners.
Kermit Gump, you fucking genius. This week in history then. It's an exciting one. This week in 1989, Ayatollah Khomeini issues a fatwa against Salman Rushdie over the book The Satanic Verses. You know about that, Tone?
No.
Do you know who Salman Rushdie is?
No, mate.
You should have guessed he's an author from what I just said, but no, he wrote a book called The Satanic Verses.
Well, no.
It was published in 1989, and Ayatollah Khomeini of Iran, like the spiritual leader, issued a fatwa, which is a death warrant. He condemned both Salman Rushdie and anybody involved in the publication who were aware of its content to death, ordering Muslims of the world, not just of Iran, of the world, to find and kill these people. So he was put under like severe protection for years afterwards. But luckily, in June of that year, Ayatollah Khomeini... Hold on. That kind of happened this week then.
What, the fatwa or just
The fatwa, because he died in June.
the June after?
Hold on, no, it was the same year. Right, so yeah, this some week in 1989, that happened. But then in June, he died. And, you know, it's a shame there's not a hell for him to go to.
14th of February.
How did I click on February instead of September then, during my careful research?
Can't wait for the rest of these this week
Oh,
in history.
shit. This week, maybe, in 1970, T-Rex headlined the first Glastonbury Festival.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
that's awesome.
I know they were headliners. Like a bit of T-Rex tone.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
A bit of sad one. Still on the rock theme, though. This week in 1970, Jimi Hendrix dies.
Can I just say, you know, like the whole thing with like, you know, do you think Jimi Hendrix would be as much of a legend if he was still alive now?
You can have that argument forever, man. Maybe not. Maybe.
Because he might have carried on writing music and got really, really shit and just, you know, wouldn't be as famous as he is now.
Yeah, true. True. If many artists would have carried on doing what they do best, they all might have turned shit and they might have turned like mediocre or even worse, sellout.
Like Paul McCartney's becoming cool, but I'm sure if he got shot like a few times like John Lennon did, he'd now be like
a few times.
a legend. Like.
He's a living legend. That's why you say living legend, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, 1970, this week Jimi Hendrix died. 1970, this week T-Rex headlined the first Glastonbury Festival. This week in 1977, unfortunately, Mark Bolan dies in a car crash.
Oh.
Interesting datial link there. Poor Mark Bolan.
Is Datiel a what?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It is now.
This week in 1973, Billie Jean King, the tennis player, beats Bobby Riggs in the Battle of the Sexes.
Oh yeah, cool.
You ever heard about this, Tom?
No.
This guy called Bobby Riggs, famous asshole, who, no, just sort of bit of a misogynist. Some people say he's playing it up for cameras and whatnot, but he certainly tried to really make it his life's work to be an asshole.
Yeah, you want Andy Kaufman? He was a
no.
bell end.
Yeah, he just thought women were lesser. So
inferior.
Yeah. He thought that, you know, no female tennis player could ever beat a male tennis player. He's saying that the ladies' game is a good and it's a strong game, but it is a ladies' game. So he challenged various female tennis players, challenged him, and yeah, he went on a winning streak for a little while and just, you know, trying to play the humble guy afterwards and go, yeah, you know, it's absolutely fine. It was a great game. You know, she had fantastic ground strokes and whatever. But this week in 1973, Billie Jean King kicked his ass. And yeah, you've never heard a roar like it. I quite like tennis. I quite like Wimbledon and stuff. But yeah, watching the video back, I'll chuck a link up to it actually.
Cool. Yeah.
There's probably a good few I've seen documentaries about it. So there'll be links to that. Yeah. So yeah, fuck you, Bobby Riggs.
So who's Billie Jean King then?
You know the song Billie Jean?
Yeah.
It's not about her. Billie Jean King is a famous female tennis player.
Okay. I bet she was mega chuffed as well. I bet she was like, I'm going to get this bastard.
Yeah, she fucking smashed him. Smashed him all about the shot, man. Cool. This fucking aging fucking fat douchebag. And this week in 1998, Bill Clinton's testimony about his relationship with Monica Lewinsky is released to the American public. You must remember this story, Tom, from your youth. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Bill Clinton's famous address to, well, the American public and sort of the world really, about his affair with an intern named Monica Lewinsky.
I don't remember it.
Okay, famous for his denial and then, him admitting it. And there was famously DNA test done on her clothes and there was a bit of his semen on there.
On a blue dress, very famous.
Yeah,
a lot of oral sex in the Oval Office. A lot of someone involving a cigar.
Yeah,
and the greatest thing, he said that he did have sexual relations with her, and then he said that the oral sex wasn't sex.
That's right.
That was part of it. Which is
no, I do remember this.
Remember this?
Because now you've said that, I remember that.
Because what's his name? The comedian Jackie Mason. That was his joke, wasn't it? That the president said that oral sex is not sex.
Yeah.
So all these people were phoning up the hookers asking for their money back, which is brilliant.
What was obviously famous about the whole thing was then how some people think he escaped jail by obviously employing presidential grade lawyers, but also using very, very, very specific definitions of very small words. He's famously quoted in court as saying, "It all depends on what your definition of the word is." Really small, sort of ridiculous technicalities, and he said that sexual relations didn't include oral sex.
The thing is, for me, alright, he lied and stuff, and that's that's not on. But aside from all that, it is better from what we had. What came later, which was like Donald Rumsfeld saying that the Abu Ghraib photos show abuse, which is technically not torture. And that kind of legal wrangling that's
Yeah, it's sickening as well in the public. Yeah, that had to be released and people had to read it and go, hold the fucking phone. What the hell is this?
I mean, with Clinton, it was more that's the thing, wasn't it? The more 90s, because it was just it was a tabloid scandal that he completely fucked up and turned into like a potential impeachment trial. Dickhead.
Yeah, what a dickhead. Most best lampoons are in Family Guy. I imagine that's what he's like. He seems alright, Bill Clinton. On that impeaching note, I'd like to extend fantastic and admirable thanks to my co-participants for this week, Mr. Antonio Romola.
Cheers.
And Kenneth Trainer.
Good night, everyone.
Smooth, Ken, smooth.
The last 7 podcast was recorded at my flat, edited at my flat, with additional material by Pandra and DJ Alchemy.